everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for today's Well Wednesday. Tonight we're going to work with another stamp set that comes from our Celebration catalog, and this stamp set is called In the Country, and it just has two beautiful scenery stamps, and I think that they're great for any type of card, especially masculine cards. And this can be found on page 12 of the Celebration brochure. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy card, and then I'm going to show you a few that I stepped up as well. So I'm going to use Mossy Meadow ink, and I have a piece of very vanilla cardstock that is 2.5 by 3 3/4. That's 2.5 by 3 3/4. And we're going to stamp that on the very vanilla cardstock. And very simply, we're going to do at this point is just layer it onto coordinating cardstock. And the next layer up is 4.5 by 3 1/4. And then the next one up from that is the very vanilla, and that's going to be 5 by 3 3/4. And then on this one here, I am going to use dimensionals, and then we're going to go ahead and layer that on our card base. And our card base is 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm not adding any sentiments to these cards because I'm not sure what they're going to be used for, and the winner can determine that, because you know on my Well Wednesdays, if you like and comment, you're going to win the 2 cards in the video. So again, don't forget for Well Wednesday to like and comment the cards in the video, and I will send 2. I have a few others that I've made. And there we go. So it's very, very simple. Again, that's stamped with Mossy Meadow. It is layers of the very vanilla. And I'm drawing a total blank on the color of this brown paper. And in just a second, I think I'm going to have it. Yes, I am. It is early espresso. Sorry about that. So I know in the video it's kind of hard to tell. It almost looks like it's black. And I thought about doing a white and a black as well. But I decided to just put a little bit of color into it and layer it with very vanilla and the early espresso. So that's a very, very simple card, and I'll put a layer of the very vanilla on the inside so that there's something easy for you to stamp on or to write if you would happen to win it. Now I'll show you a few others that I made. This one here, I use the blends. This is the same stamp, just looks a lot different. This is on Flirty Flamingo. Again, the layers are just, let's see, on the Flirty Flamingo, this is 5 1/4 by 4, and then the next Flirty Flamingo is 3.5 by 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then the basic white is 4 1/4 by 3, and I stamped that in Memento black ink, and then I colored it with Flirty Flamingo blends and Granny Apple Green light and dark blends. This is Soft Succulent and Balmy Blue. Now, a lot of times when I use my blends, I love to go back and use the color lifter. And I don't know if you can see that in here, but you can see where the white spots are throughout there. I did go back with the color lifter. I absolutely love that way that makes that watercolor look so much more true watercolor in my mind. So that was just definitely dressing it up a little bit by using the blends. And then for the other stamp, this one was very simple. This was stamped on, excuse me, the basic white, and the basic white is 3 1/4 by 2 1/2, and then a piece of designer series paper, which is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, another piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then it's on an evening evergreen card base that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then one of the 5 1/4 by 4 basic whites on the inside as well. And all I did with this one was took my blending brush and my Soft Succulent ink pad, and I just blended a little bit of color on there, stamped it in Memento black. And then this one is called Spotlighting, and I absolutely love this. Basically, this is on a piece of basic white that is 2 1/4 by 4, and then it's got a piece of soft succulent behind it that's 2 7/8 by 4 1/8, and then the evening evergreen that is 3 by 4 1/4, and then it's on a card base that was 4 1/4 by 11, and then you cut this piece in half, so you have, let's see, cut off 2 3/4, and then you have this piece here. Now, a lot of times you can just use that other piece that's right here for this, but I wanted it a little bit bigger, so this time I made my own dimensions for this here. And this is a piece of designer series paper that's 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. And what you do is you stamp on your basic white in your Memento, and then you run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, cutting out a circle. Now, I used the circle layer dies, and I also used the stylish shapes because I wanted those little dots in there. But the next size up circle for the stylish shapes with the little, I don't know if you can see the little stitched edging there, was too big. So I used the circle layering die. So if I was to do it again, I probably just would do both of them with just the circle layer dies. And I used the smallest, counting out 3 and 4, if that makes sense to you. I'll show you what I mean. So out of the layering circles, the smallest one I call 1, 2, 3. So I use 3 and 4 for this size here. And then I colored that, layered it on this circle, and covered the hole that I had. So basically this is, if you can see, is cut right out of there. And then when you layer it, you cover up that cutout, and you just make sure you line things up. And I only colored the spotlight part, which is what gives it the name, sort of like spotlighting. That's a technique. And I love this type of card that has this layer here, the way it opens. Absolutely love that. So again, this is another of the celebration items that you can get for free, and you can get this by placing an order That's a minimum of $50. For every $50 you spend, you get to pick out an item from the celebration brochure, and this would be one that you can pick out for spending the $50. So I hope you liked tonight. This was nice and quick and easy, and I just wanted to show you different techniques to use this. You can go hog wild in watercolor. You can just use a blender brush and give it a little bit of color. You can use their stamping blends, or you can just outright stamp it and leave it the way it is. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. Don't forget to like and comment so you have a chance to win. I'd appreciate it if you used this month's host code if you placed an order that's under $150. Again, that would be under $150, because if you spend over $150, then you could get your own stamping rewards. So thanks again for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's Mail Wednesday. Don't forget to like and comment. You'll have a chance to possibly win these 2 cards. Thanks again, everyone, and happy stamping.